Ground Control, this is Commander Silva here. All preliminary checks are complete, we are now approaching Scopulus, ready for landing. Over.
Roger that, Commander. Over.
The big screen shows a dotted line which spirals from Earth to Scopulus. A miniature image of the rocket is situated on the line, moving forward occasionally. Various equations and numbers flash onto the screen periodically. The asteroid is huge in length. It is a dark gray, with red swirls running through it. Streaks of ice cover the surface, giving the asteroid a glistening quality. There are dozens of craters varying in size. The spacecraft slowly circles its Scopulus as it progressively descends. The size of Scopulus is intimidating in comparison to the size of the spacecraft. The spacecraft begins to shake and vibrate as they begin landing. Everyone holds on tight to their seat straps.
50 meters and descending. 35, 20, 10 and slowing. 5, 3, 2, 1 meter and slowing.
The spacecraft slowly descends onto the surface of the asteroid. The landing struts unfold. Bright beams of light from beneath the ship illuminate the glittering ice and red swirling patterns in the rock. Small stones and rocks on the surface of asteroid begin to vibrate and a big dust cloud rises as the spacecraft lands with a jolt. Richard walks in. He walks over to the glass locker to retrieve a suit.
You're late. Everyone else managed to get here for 0700 hours. What's your excuse?
Well, actually, I have been down in the engine room for the last hour stabilizing a leak.
A leak? What? You didn't think to tell me this? How bad is it?
I didn't think it was necessary to concern you. Something came loose during the impact of the landing, but it's stable for now.
Well, for now isn't good enough. You'll stay behind and fix it. And for future reference, it is always necessary to concern me. I don't like having to keep reminding you that I am the commander of this mission. Richard begins to argue back, but stops and forces a smile.
Noted. I'll get right on it.
He slams the glass door and stalks at the room. A tense silence fills the room. Ben and Susan exchange a worried glance. Carolyn, seemingly unaffected by the exchange, consults her computer one last time. Ben and Susan slowly finish putting the suits on. Susan reaches for her helmet.
Oh hey, let me help you with that.
Ben takes the helmet and secures it over her head. Susan smiles. Michael grins wildly at Adrian, still talking very fast.
See. I've thought this whole thing through. I'll find out what happened to her. I'll be fine, okay, Michael, I'm sure you will. But will you promise me you'll go to the police if you don't find her in 3 days? Please. Sure, yeah, whatever. I promise. Okay Michael, thank you. It's gonna be fine Adrian. I can do this. Yeah, course you can. Do you want me to stay here tonight? No, it's okay, you head back. I know you'll have work or something to be doing. I'll be fine here. You sure? Yes. I'm sure. Go, I'll be okay. I'll see you tomorrow for marketing and planning, yeah? Yeah, I'll see you then. Night Michael. Night Adrian.
Adrian leaves, and Michael heads back to his room. Felicity's room is small, with an unmade bed along the back wall. Next to the bed is a small table with a lamp on it. A string of fairy lights are stuck to the wall above her bed. There's a desk with a PC on it under the window and a wardrobe and bookcase next to that. Michael makes his way over to the computer and moves the mouse. The computer screen lights up and Michael opens up the minimized tabs. He opens up an online blogging website and sees that Felicity has been keeping an online journal for several years. He opens up the most recent entry, made a few days before Michael met her.
I saw Simon again today. He was with Jody. I know technically I ended things with him, but I hate seeing him with her. Did I do the right thing? I'm not so sure anymore. I don't know if I'll be able to stick around here much longer. I need to get out. Go somewhere I can breathe. I can't breathe here. I feel like I'm suffocating and no one even notices. I can't tell if I'm that good at putting up a front, or if they just don't care. I want to, need to get back to Summerfield Cottage. It's the only place I think I've ever been happy. I know I'll be okay there, away from everyone. No more pretending, I'll be able to be myself. Finally. Good night, guys, Jennifer writes.
Michael stands back, a look of shock on his face. He makes a note of the blog address and shuts down the computer. He makes his way over to her bookshelf and scans over the books. Then, over to her bedside table. He opens a drawer and finds a leather-bound book. Opening it, he realizes it's a diary. He thinks for a minute, then tucks the diary into his pocket and closes the drawer. Looking round the room one more time, he leaves, closing the door behind him. It's completely dark outside, the only light is coming from the windows of the house that's down a short driveway. Gravel crunches underfoot as an unseen person, from their pub, walks down the drive. A black gloved hand comes into view and opens the side gate. The person, still unseen on screen, makes their way into the garden. The garden is large, and fenced, with a flower bed running down one side. In the middle of the garden is a rabbit hutch. The paw of the person makes their way over to the hutch. The black gloved hand reaches out and opens the door. A white rabbit is sitting inside. Eric is making his way from the kitchen down the hall. He has a piece of toast in his mouth. He grabs his blazer off a coat hook on the wall and puts it on. He glances in the mirror, and runs a hand through his hair.
Bye, Mom.
Bye, Eric.
Eric opens his front door and steps outside. Eric turns and slams the door behind him, before screaming and staggering backwards. The rabbit has been nailed to the front door by its ears. The nail is old and rusty. There is congealed blood round the wound and all down the ears. The rabbit's nose is also bloody, and its eyes are open and glassy. There are small scratch marks in the paint of the door where it struggled.
Oh God, not again.
Sorry?
Damien and Samantha turn as Julia comes into the room. Damien looks confused, and Samantha has tears in her eyes. She walks over to Julia and hugs her.
Baby, why didn't you tell me?
Mom? What are you talking about? Why are you home?
Samantha pulls back and crouches to be at Julia's height.
Sweetie, do you still see Alex?
Julia frowns, clearly confused.
I haven't actually seen her for a few days.
Samantha breaks down in tears and pulls Julia back into a tight hug. Damien looks from Julia to Samantha, still looking confused.
What the hell is going on? Damien?
Julia, sweetie, does she talk to you?
Yes, I mean, not for a few days but of course. Mom, I'm so confused. What's happening?
Julie, love, think about when you were little. You saw Dr. Alan every day for a few months. Do you remember that?
I don't remember. I think so.
Do you remember why you saw him?
Julia squeezes her eyes shut and shakes her head hard.
No. 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 No.
Please, darling, please think. Alex got in an accident, remember? When you were little. She died, Julia.
Damien gasps and leans back against the wall.
No, you're lying to me. You're all lying to me.
Julia pulls away from Samantha and runs out the room.